I have 25 years of drug abuse. Unfortunately, you know, I was 11 years old when I first picked up drugs. I was 36 when I stopped. Last year, I did extensive training courses in this industry, which was really beneficial for me in my recovery and to my understanding into the line of work that I wish to work in, you know, furthermore. So, you know, I've got unfortunate experience of over 2 decades of what drug abuse is like, you know. I understand all the excuses under the sun because I've fucking spoken. I understand whether somebody really wants to recover or they're just saying it. I've tried and tested so many ways. You know, I've been in and out of institutions, jails. I've had psychiatrists try and hypnotize me. Actually, I call myself lying because I did pay for a hypnotist. It didn't work. It worked momentarily. Or was it just my subconscious brain? Now, I'm not trying to discredit people away from anything or any organisations that are out there that are charging money. What I will say is that there are so many people like myself giving out free advice, trying to help people. I don't know if at some point down the line, my time becomes so precious. I'm already putting my whole life into this as it stands. That, you know, later on down the line, maybe I might start charging for advice. At this moment in time, I'm not. Now, my heart, should I say, goes out to each and every struggling addict, to everybody that is sat there watching their loved ones effectively committing suicide. Addiction is a disease of our brain. It is brutal. It lives with us forever. Once you become an addict, it will never go away. You just learn how to live with it, or you don't. You challenge your behaviour, or you don't. There is no magic pill, as I keep saying. You must come to terms with the fact you're an addict. Face the mirror and tell yourself you have a problem. Seek help. Do not do these things alone. A problem halved, a problem shared. No, I truly, genuinely believe once you've admitted you've got a problem, you seek out for support. Contact Narcotics Anonymous. I sat in probably close to 1,000 meetings just listening. You can go to them face to face or you can go online. There's no excuses. You know, you don't have to speak. If you don't feel confident enough to speak, you can sit and listen to other people. Because for me, as a cokehead and an alcoholic, I used to look down on crackheads and smackheads and think, fuck them. I swallow my words today because these two sort of people, these two genre of people, so to say, are the people that saved my life, really. I saved my life, but their knowledge, you know, and listening to them and understanding, wow, they came back from all that. I wasn't as bad as them. If they could do it, then so can I. These are people that, in, you know, unforeseen, horrible circumstances, had lost their legs or been, you know, sharing needles, dirty needles, and, you know, just look physically poorly. And I always put myself a category away from them. I wasn't, because a drug is a drug, addiction is addiction. But that said, these are people that's lives were far more worse than mine had been. Yet they'd managed to recover and they got years underneath their belt, clean and sober. And I just learned and I listened. And there's a point where I just dropped that fucking ego I had. I just listened to them. Now today, I don't separate myself anywhere away from these people. Crackheads, smackheads, stoners, alcoholics, K-heads, cokeheads, we're all the fucking same, we're addicts. Some people argue till the cows come home. I'm not interested in that. So, you know, people, a disease of addiction is a disease of addiction. So I would get yourself into their meetings and listen. Like I say, if you're too anxious to go to the meetings in person, then get there online. And I'll put some links below. Now, going to the meetings alone just wasn't enough for me. It is for some people. It wasn't enough for me. I'm an addict that was using every day of his life for decades. So I use the gym as well. And I practice the gym every day of my life. When I wake up on a morning, instead of thinking about going and using, which is what I used to do most of my life, I can't wait to go to the gym. I'm excited to go to the gym. It's because I obsess about the gym, just like I obsessed about drugs. It works in the same way. If you do something religiously and keep doing it over and over and over again, it becomes a habit, it becomes an addiction. You will obsess about going to the gym. Now, once again, I'll repeat, if you're too anxious to go into the gym, There's plenty more options you can do. And do I need to speak them out loud? You can go out walking. You can borrow somebody's dog. You can borrow a bike. You can go swimming. You can go fucking skiing if you're lucky. People are watching all over the world here. Go fucking surfboarding. Use something that is using your energy, that is using fitness, and go out and practice it. And do it religiously until it becomes a fucking habit. If the drugs are that fucking bad for you and becoming that unmanageable, you'll soon fall in love with something that maybe is stepping out of your comfort zone. Make sure you are cutting out friends that don't necessarily want what's best for you. And this is no fault of their own. Some people don't understand it. Some people never will. Some people's idea of going out and fixing yourself is to get pissed off your head and then wake up with the same problem tomorrow, only with a hangover, only with a blocked nose. To me, that momentarily blocks out the issues you've got and leaves you with a fucking worse problem. Am I right? I know I am. Now, reach out to people like myself, you know, people that have got knowledge, people that have worked in, you know, this sector and understand professionally. Maybe just fucking have got experience, you know. I didn't open textbooks to have all the knowledge I got today. I lived this life. I survived this life. I'm surviving this life. You'll find that the most successful people out there in recovery are people that have been addicts themselves. That's a fucking fact. Now, I aren't trying to take away from people that are sat out there, you know, that are learning about addiction and sat working from textbooks, because fucking I take my hat off to these people. But to me, going into these kind of places to speak to doctors and put you on antidepressants and telling you you're fucking depressed and poorly, to me, that wasn't the answer to my prayers. I went on every fucking antidepressant under the sun. I wasn't depressed. I was poorly. I had addiction, a disease of addiction. I went to all these sort of drop-in centres, and once again, they were helpful for X amount of time, but I never stayed stopped. Now, people, you can do it. You can do it. You've got to replace them old bad habits with new healthy habits. You've got to challenge your behaviour. If I can do it, so can you. I'm overturning a 25-year drug problem. 11 years old when I started, 36 when I stopped. I might have already repeated this, but to brush to reinforce into your brain, that's 25 years of doing something. And in the last 18 months, I have used consecutively for 5 times. 5 days, 1 time, should I say. It's remarkable, you know. I've got to where I am today by wanting to learn, by understanding who I am, why I do things. There's so much more I can go into, but this might just outline to you how to get started and how to begin your journey, because I'm getting so many messages, thousands a week now. You can do it because I can do it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And that's a fucking fact. I paid nobody nothing, no money to nobody. You can do it. I love you all, man. My heart goes out to each and every struggling addict out there. Pack it in.